Hello, AC3D CAD here again. In this exercise, we'll be building a simple mechanical drawing based on this model. We are going to create the parts separately, then assemble them together by using OSNAP commands. This is the copy that I sliced to show the cross-section view or its internal makeup. Let's begin by opening a new window. Click this drop-down arrow beside the AutoCAD icon. Hover over New, click Drawing, and select AutoCAD 3D for imperial units. Make sure you are on parallel projection. I'm just gonna go to View and select Tile vertically to view the open windows. I'm just gonna minimize that. Minimize this one. I'm just gonna grab this reference drawing with dimension from my desktop and paste it here. Adjust the windows. Let's start from the top view and grab polyline. Click anywhere on the screen and enter 46 units to your right, which is this one here. Bring it down for 174, which is the length. I'm just gonna track. Type C for close. Alright, so the distance from this point to this point is 24. So I'm gonna type L for line command and just hover over and bring your cursor up for 24 units and bring it to the left and click that. Before we proceed, make sure your dynamic input is on, polar tracking, object snap tracking, and object snap. Since this is symmetrical, I'm just gonna mirror this line. The distance from this point to this point is 64. So I'm just gonna type L for line command and hover over from the center. Don't click and bring down your cursor for 32 units and bring your cursor to the right and click, and I'm just gonna copy this one and enter 64 units. Next is to create a line from the midpoint to midpoint here. Change the view of the drawing to southwest. Extrude this one for, as you can see here, it is 14 units, the thickness, 14. I'm just gonna turn off the grid, and from this point to this point, the thickness is 18, so the difference of 14 and 18 is 4. So what I'm gonna do is select press pull command from the ribbon and extrude this one for 4 units. The same thing here. The next step is to create this portion here. But first, we have to change the UCS by going to coordinates panel and select this Z-axis vector. Click anywhere and change the direction of your Z-axis. It has to be parallel to the direction. The Z-axis should be parallel to the direction of your hole, or to the direction of the thickness of this arc. So this time I'm going to use construction line, and the distance from this point to the center of the hole is 50, which is from the bottom, and the thickness here is 14. So what I'm gonna do is deduct 50 minus 14, which is 36. So from the center, enter 36. Type C for circle, or grab the circle from the ribbon and enter, what is the diameter here? Diameter is, of course, the thickness is the diameter, so which is 46. So type D. Okay, circle again. Type D for diameter option and enter 46. Right click to repeat circle and enter the diameter for this next one, which is 28. Type D and enter 28. The next one is repeat circle. The diameter for this is 14, so type D for diameter option and enter 14. I'm going to change the view to front view and draw a line from shift right click and grab quadrant and bring down your line and click this point. I'm just gonna copy that. I'm gonna join these lines. So type J for join command, right click. No, first I have to trim. TR for trim, click twice. Select that and enter. Type J for join command, select the broken segments and extrude this closed segment towards the center for 14 units as shown here. Now I'm going to change this to wireframe. To determine the extrusion of this circle is to subtract 32, the distance in between these two, from 64 and then divide it into 2, which is 16. So I'm going to move this one from this point for 16. Now extrude this circle and combine. Now bring this back to conceptual and select union command to combine this circle and this circle. Now to create this hole, I can use PRESSPULL command, highlight, and then click. Now bring your drawing to top view, and I'm just gonna mirror this object. So type MI for mirror, select the object you want to mirror, locate the midpoint or the mirror line, or you can bring your cursor anywhere as long as it's straight. And erase source object, select no. To create these circles, first we have to determine the distance of the circle from this corner to this point. We can do that by subtracting 150 from 174, which is 24, and divide it into 2. This time I'm going to create construction line and select line. And from this point, just hover over and enter 12. And the distance from this point to the center of the circle is 46 minus 24, which is 22, and half of that is 11. So bring your cursor towards that direction along x-axis and enter 11. So this is going to be the center of our circle. So grab circle from the ribbon and enter D for diameter option. And the diameter there is 10. So I'm gonna extrude this one and bring this to top view. I'm just gonna mirror that. MI for mirror, right click, select the object you want to mirror, and select mirror line. Type MI for mirror and select the midpoint or the point of the mirror line, and travel your cursor to the right, then click anywhere and select no. Change this to southwest isometric and bring this back to conceptual. Select subtract command from the ribbon and select the object you want to keep. Right click and select the objects you want to remove. Next is to create this triangle. I'm going to use construction line again and click from the center of that circle, bring down your cursor for 12 units as shown here. I'm going to change this to wireframe. Line again and snap the endpoint of the construction line to the midpoint here, and then right click and to repeat line, snap the endpoint of that line and the endpoint of that line, another line from endpoint, now I'm going to join the segments. So type J for join command and select the lines. Extrude this one for, the thickness here is 10, so I'm just going to extrude it for 5 units. Change this to conceptual and use press pull command to extrude this one for another 5 units. Now the total extrusion is 10 units. Bring this back to top view. I'm going to mirror this object. So type MI for mirror. Enter. Select the object you want to mirror. And select the midpoint here, which is the mirror line. And select no. Combine the objects by using union command from the ribbon. Now we're gonna create the pulley. First, we have to change the direction of the UCS by going to the coordinates panel and clicking the Z-axis vector. But first, we have to change the view to isometric. Change the direction of the Z-axis vector in order to make it parallel to the direction of this pulley. So click circle and enter D for diameter option and enter, okay, wait, 56. The thickness for this portion is 24. The inner circle is 28. So this one should be extruded to 24. And then we're gonna create another circle. Enter D for diameter option and enter 25. I'm gonna change this first to wireframe. Extrude this one and click the center. And the extrusion here, or the protrusion, is the difference of 28 and 24, which is 4 units. So it should be 2 units on each side. So I'm going to use press pull command. Highlight that center and enter 2. And I'm going to go to the other side and enter 2. Let me check. There you go. Now I'm going to combine these two and create another circle and enter D for diameter option. And I think this is 14 or 16. It should be 16. Yeah, because the hole here is 16. Oh no, 14. So D for 14. Oops. And then I'm just gonna use press pull command to create a hole. Once it's highlighted, just bring your cursor to the left and left click. Now we're gonna create this indentation by creating another circle and revolve it around, but we have to change the direction of the UCS. Z should be facing that way, and I'm gonna change this back to wireframe. I'm gonna create another construction line. Shift right click and select quadrant. Click the quadrant here. Shift right click again and select quadrant. And create circle. Click the midpoint of that construction line. Enter D for diameter option and enter 14. I press 14. Yeah, right. I'm just gonna bring this back to conceptual. Hit that circle and then go back to the ribbon and select revolve command. And select the axis start point or the center of revolution. So from that center of the circle to this side, and just accept 360. As you can see here from the prompt window, 360 is the default or the given value, so just enter. Now I'm gonna use subtract command from the ribbon. Click the object you want to keep, right click and select the object you want to remove. Now we have to create this rod and change the direction of the Z axis again. So circle again and enter diameter is 14, so D for diameter option and enter 14. Extrude this one for 70 units and do go to solid and select chamfer edge, which is this one here. So click the distance for option from the command prompt and enter 2 for the first distance, and the second distance is also 2, and that makes it 45 degrees. Click that. Turn your wheel around by holding down the middle mouse button and shift key at the same time, and click that one, enter twice. Now we have to position our rod in the middle. So highlight the object, shift right click and select mid between 2 points. So click the, alright, highlight the object, right click, move, shift right click again and select mid between 2 points. Select that outer center of that circle and turn your wheel and the outer center. Now you're holding the middle of the rod and position it here. Right click again, mid between 2 points and click that. Turn your object around and select that. I'm just gonna make sure it's the center. There you go. The same process for this pulley. Move, shift right click and select mid between 2 points. So click that center of the circle, and the same on the other side, the outer center of the outer circle, and paste it between these two, or exactly here, or you can, or there, because our object snap is on, so it locates the center, so it's highlighted, and just click that. Now it's time to apply fillet on the edges. So go to the ribbon and go down to the command window and click radius option and enter 4. As shown here in the drawing. So click that, this one here, this edge, right click and enter again. Go back to fillet edge and change the radius to 0.2 and select chain for option. Click that. Right click and enter twice. I'm gonna change this to realistic. Now I'm gonna minimize this one or close. I don't need that anymore. Open this one, go back to view, tile vertically, bring this to front view, maybe this one to front view too. Now what I'm gonna do is copy this one, right click and select clipboard, select copy with base point, click that, and then shift right click, oh no, just right click, hover over clipboard and select paste, minimize that, maximize this one, bring this to southwest isometric. Now I'm gonna type materials. Now I have carried over the prepared materials I did for this. So what I'm just gonna do now is just highlight that, right click and assign to selection. And then this one, assign to selection, and the rod, assign to selection. I'm gonna go back to home, select visualize. I'm just gonna turn that off, adjust exposure setting, and then turn on the environment, use custom background, select gradient, select 3 colors, click the bottom color and select the lightest, or that. The top color, I'm gonna select this one. Okay, and create ground shadow, adjust the sun location, adjust exposure, I think we are done. Thank you for watching. Please comment or like, and please don't forget to subscribe and check the link below for the detailed dimensions, and visit my website. Thank you so much. Bye bye.